Welcome into Citizen Sports Talk. Kaden Reinhard here with Jacob Smith. And for the Buffaloes, postseason basketball has continued this week. 3 games were on deck. Started on Wednesday down in started on Tuesday for the girls. Then for the boys, started on Wednesday. All games in Franklin County. Jacob, you were able to take the trip down, 5 Mile Mountain for each. How did that go?
The drive was okay. I'm not going to miss the trip up and down 5 Mile Mountain this weekend for sure. Rumor has it that I might have to make that trip again for the state quarterfinals, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Starting off with Tuesday's action, Kaden, the Lady Buffs, the 6th seed, coming off a big upset win against the 3-seeded Appomattox County Lady Raiders, taking on the 2-seed Liberty Lady Minutemen from Bedford. Both teams were 12-9 coming into the contest with 9 wins in their district and regular season play. Liberty coming off a win against Martinsville. So both teams obviously had something to play for. A ticket to the state tournament was on the line in this one. And it was a back-and-forth game early. Liberty had most of the momentum for most of the first half. The Lady Buffs were able to come back and make it a game in the late in the first half. This actually tied at halftime, tied after the third quarter, back and forth third quarter. But really a one-sided fourth quarter. Liberty able to take advantage. Shania Brown had a big fourth quarter. Just the size that she has for the Lady Minutemen was too much for the Lady Buffs to handle. Unfortunately, the Lady Buffs season ended on Tuesday night, but nothing to be ashamed of. First year with Coach Sneed's return, being able to make it to the Final Four of the region and being 1 quarter away from making it to the top 8 of the class for the postseason.
Definitely, it's like you said, that's kind of the cool thing about the regional semifinal games, I think, because if you win that game, no matter what that next game, you're going to be in the state tournament because 8 teams make it. Every team from the regional finals advances to the state finals. So that adds even extra pressure to that semifinal game, I believe. And just for the Buffaloes to get there, like you said, the 6th seed, they kind of just all season, new coach Ross Sneed, they started the season 1-4. We even talked about it, just kind of what they can do to string together a couple victories, make the best out of this season looking forward. And then we got to here, which was already one of the biggest positives, I think, of the season.
Absolutely. Anytime you can make the playoffs, it's a good year. And being able to get a postseason win, the fact that they were 8 minutes away from a state tournament berth says a lot. Had a really strong team effort, I believe, this year. It felt like the Lady Buffs played as a team, not just individuals on the floor. And transitioning to Wednesday, Kaden, the last couple weeks for the Buffaloes, for the boys, ever since that little break for the snow, starting to get some wins on the book. Going into their game against Gretna Wednesday, they had won 8 of their last 9, or since that 2-week gap between games, the loss in Glenver and then their game against Prairie McClure at the Adam Ward Classic. But the last couple weeks for the Buffaloes, they've really looked like a team. That's what you really want out of a successful season. But looking at that game, 66-46 win for Floyd County. A strong start. I believe it was a 12-0 run to start the game. Really put the Buffaloes in a good position. Gretna made it close at the end of the first half, but pretty climactic buzzer beater from Isaiah Cantrell at the end of the first half, and then a strong third quarter and second half overall from the Buffaloes was able to get them their ticket, return ticket to the state tournament, their third in the last 4 years, and they got a rematch in Nelson County on Friday.
They do. It was a great game against the Hawks, and like you said, it was honestly like a tale of 2 different contests, pre and post halftime. The first quarter, the Hawks, they were making their shots from deep. But it goes back to what you were saying with the Buffaloes and that teamwork. Not to narc on Gretna, but it just seemed like they didn't set up a lot of plays. It was very short-combed. Any of the ball handlers would bring it up the court. They would look for their shot. If it wasn't that, it'd be just a pass and then a quick shot from there. So not a lot of plays being set up. Floyd, you see it a lot of ball distribution. So I think that was a big focal point in that Wednesday contest, especially getting into that second half. The Buffaloes started that third quarter strong, and then Gretna really just never found their rhythm after that.
I think it also speaks to the experience that the Buffaloes have had, obviously making it to the Final Four last year. Gretna did win the region a couple years ago, but obviously in high school sports there is some transition. Even the Buffaloes, for example, there's been transition from last year's regional championship team to the team that competed in the regional championship on Friday against the same team from last year as well, oddly enough. But another thing with the win Wednesday, Kaden, the defensive performance from the Buffaloes, just the consistency there. The second half, like you said, the shots were landing in the first half, not so much in the second half. And part of that was due to the defensive performance by the Buffaloes to not allow those opportunities. And talking about the win in Franklin County against the Gretna Hawks, Coach Harmon, and yes, we did have to talk with Isaiah after his insane end of the half basket.
So coming off the semifinal win, Coach, going back to the state tournament for the second year in a row, first of all, what did it mean to have this big of a victory tonight against Gretna?
And winning by 1 or winning by 20, I'll take it anyway. I'm just so proud of these guys and these seniors that are going to get back there again, you know. Back-to-back years. I think Mason's been there 3 out of his 4 years he's been here. I'm just so happy for those kids because they're such great kids, and that's what means a lot to me. And seeing the fans in the stands and the community and rallying behind these guys, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
Talking about your two bigs, Dakin Slaughter and Gavin Swartzel having a big impact tonight. How much of a difference was that in this matchup tonight?
Well, I felt like if our bigs played well, we'd have a great shot to win. You know, whenever they miss a rebound or miss a layup, I go bonkers, and they're shooting like 90% from the field, and I still get upset when they miss a rebound. And this dude here is just the individual guy that does both. He'll play outside, he plays inside, and there's not a play that he takes off. He don't take off any plays. Even when he's on the bench, he still ain't taking a play off, and you can't replace that. I mean, you just can't. The hard work, the dedication, and it's not about him. And you can't replace that on this team. This dude works harder than anybody that I've got.
Well, we're not trying to make it about you now, Isaiah, but a nice end of the half for you. Give us the thought process on that interesting buzzer beater at the end of the first half.
Yeah, I thought I had a little bit less time than what I did on the first one, and then the second one came right back to me, so I just put it back up, and it finally dropped. I wish I could stand here and say that I knew it was going in from the get-go, but definitely not.
He did. You saw the follow-through, and it was just that last little bit to get that last touch to get the roll to go in. I saw it. He knew what he was doing.
Talking about the defensive performance for you, Isaiah, Rayshawn Logan's been a big player on the scoreboard for the Hawks, and being able to limit him, he only had about 5 points on the night. What does that say about your defensive performance tonight as well as the team overall?
Yeah, well, I think you said it. I mean, it's not just one individual. I mean, I wish we had every single guy out here so we could interview them all, because that's really what it takes in order to lock down their team. And one player, it takes the whole team to be able to lock them down. And it wasn't just me, it was everybody behind me.
Last question for you, Coach. A regional championship on Friday is a rematch with the Nelson County Governors. How is that, having Nelson County in a rematch, does it make things any different for Friday?
No, I don't think so. You know, beginning of the year, I think that us, Nelson, and Martinsville, you know, were probably the three that could have got there. And, you know, Nelson had a great game last year. We made a big 3 there to put it in overtime and got the big win. Nelson's good. It should be a great game. It'll be interesting because their bigs are really good. Their guards are really good. But I like the way we're playing right now. We're playing hard. This game right here has got so much pressure on it. You win this one, you know you're going either way. So, you know, we get there and we win Friday or we lose Friday. It doesn't matter. You know, you're going on to the state. And for us to be able to say that in back-to-back years, 3 out of the last 4, that's impressive for the program right now. Very, very impressive.
We'll finish with you, Isaiah. Talking about what Coach just said there, knowing you have 2 games now instead of just 1 more, how does that affect you with this being your last year?
Well, I mean, it feels great to be guaranteed 2 more games, but I think we still have the same mindset in the next game. Treat it like it's our last, play our hearts out, and hope for the best.
Thank
Man,
you,
this
guys.
dude's been in so many states that, he's just used to it. I mean, golf. I mean, this dude he's calm and collected, baby.
And then baseball, too, this spring, right, Isaiah?
Exactly right.
We'll see. Hopefully.
Thanks, guys. Congrats on the win.
Thanks,
Good luck
man.
Friday.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Isaiah, for your time after the win Wednesday. Transitioning to Friday, Kaden, the rematch in the regional championship, Buffalo's Governors, a rematch from the game we called in Roanoke College last year. The Buffaloes looking to win their second consecutive regional championship. Oddly enough, both times would be against Nelson County. As for the Governors, looking to get revenge from their 73-68 loss in overtime in the regional championship last year. The Buffaloes winning 9 of their last 10, Nelson County winning their last 17, and that winning streak, oddly enough, starting in the Chance Harmon Classic against Central Wise. So both teams really needed this win, or had the momentum, and that's usually what this time of year is. The 2 hottest teams and the 2 best teams, just kind of how it works its way out. I think we had the best 2 teams in the region in this Friday night matchup. But starting off, Nelson County, the focus defensively for the Buffaloes was Bryce Giles and Colton Ward. Bryce Giles was able to get some shots off early, and Jason Ross hit 3 triples in the first quarter. So Nelson County had all the momentum with the shooting side of things in the first half. The Buffaloes went on a nice little 8-0 run to make it a 1-point game to end the first half. Jason Harmon had a nice end of the half 3-pointer. And a back-and-forth third quarter. Both teams really had an answer for each other. Floyd County was able to pull away with, I believe, a 3-point lead after the third. And then the fourth quarter, we had a tied game for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then Floyd County just able to pull away at the end. Isaiah Cantrell went 8 for 8 from the free throw line. Maybe not the best idea on Nelson County's part to send Isaiah Cantrell to the free throw line as many times as they did. Again, 8 for 8. He had 10 points on the night. His only field goal coming in the very first play of the third quarter as well. And again, it felt like a complete win for this Buffaloes team. Like, they played as a team. I mentioned it earlier. Really feels like they found their groove here in the last couple weeks, Kaden.
Definitely, finding their groove is correct, and they couldn't have found it at a better time. It's all really about getting hot at the right time, and the Buffaloes going back to that snowstorm, it was kind of just really what you make of that. You could have taken the time off, could have got sluggish, could have got out of sorts, but the Buffaloes, they kept with it. Right, they wanted to be back in action, I believe. And as soon as they got that chance in the Perry McClure tournament, you could tell that they were glad to be back in action, and it's ran with them all the way up until the victory over Nelson County tonight. The whole game, it was similar to Gretna, how it was kind of 2 different halves, but this time it was more of a strategy change for the Buffaloes, I think. We've seen Gavin Swartzel put up 18 against Gretna on Wednesday, but tonight only 4 points, all in the first half, but he was really limited in the second half. Brian Harmon didn't play him as much, and that was kind of what the Governors attack with interior on defense from Bryce Giles and Colton Ward. They shut it down, and Coach Harmon took Swartzel out, put Dakin in to kind of spread the floor out more, and Buffaloes were able to prosper off that.
Yeah, I think the adjustments that they made at halftime worked. Me and Aiden were talking. We were calling the games this week. And coming back from Rocky Mount tonight, we're filming Friday night. We're not exactly sure. We'll get in that can of worms in a little bit what next week will look like for the Buffaloes as far as the state tournament goes now that we can move past the regional tournament. Talking about the defensive adjustments, Isaiah Cantrell was on Bryce Giles pretty early in the game in a man defense. A 1-3-1 zone is what Aiden described it for majority of the game, but Isaiah Cantrell was the guy on Bryce Giles for the most part. Then they transitioned to a unique zone defense is how Aiden described it on the ride back from Rocky Mount. And it, like you said, a strategic second half from the Buffaloes, playing mental games with Nelson's attack offensively, and that was able to get them the win in the second half.
It did, and it's what you really – I mean, it's what you need when you play, 32 full minutes of basketball. You have to stay locked in, and there's going to be changes in that game. What you see in the first quarter isn't what you're going to see in the fourth quarter. It never is. So you have to be prepared to come out and make changes, little changes as the game progresses.
I will say, one, happy that this game was decided in 32 minutes and not more, based on how last year went. But it was an exciting Friday night. Again, same two teams going at it from 12 months ago, and the same result, except this time it came in four quarters. And unless you have anything that you need to wrap things up with looking ahead to next week, we'll talk about what to expect next week, and then we'll end this week's episode inside the locker room over with the Buffaloes' victory over Nelson County. Coach Harmon talking with his team after the game and getting to talk with me as well, and being able to celebrate their second consecutive regional championship, something that was very rare for the Buffaloes. Now it's just an expectation now getting to do it 2 years in a row. But the way the state tournament will work now, having Region 2D's bracket pulled up here, Kaden, the winner of the Class 2C championship, which is Floyd County, will host the loser of the Region 2D championship, which is Saturday. Again, we're filming on Friday night, so we do not know the results of that game. Again, the loser of that game will be the visiting team. Floyd County will be the, quote, home team. From what I've understood, the game will not be at Allen Cantrell Court, but it has the potential to be a home field or home floor advantage, if you will, just not having to worry about traveling very far to play in a different venue that can hold as many Buffaloes fans that come out to support Floyd County postseason basketball. But the two teams in it for 2D is the Graham G-Men and Central Wise. If Graham were to lose on Saturday afternoon, the the state quarterfinal would be a rematch of the state semifinal we got to call last year, Kaden.
It would, and there's a lot of throwbacks, I think, going into this whole 2D and 2C matchups that we have in the first round of the state quarterfinals, because Central Wise, you mentioned it just a bit ago, they were the last team to beat the Governors.
They began the...
Or excuse me, yeah, they were the first team on that winning streak, So Central Wise and Nelson, they've already seen each other. That was something that the Buffaloes and Nelson haven't. They didn't get to see each other this year, even though last year was a rematch. It's just that comfortability there is going to make that a great game if Central Wise takes down Graham.
I will say it helps for the Buffaloes, if they were to get Graham, having them on the home floor, the quote home floor, because the game was a neutral site last year. It was at Radford University. Be interesting to see how things play out. The Buffaloes have had some changes. The Graham G-Men have had some changes as well. Just interesting to see if this rematch were to occur. We saw Friday night what 12 months difference does to two teams. Similar result in this scenario, or this example, but it could possibly change, and the Buffaloes could get a win over the G-Men if the opportunity arises again. This matchup hasn't occurred, and we might just be two talking heads talking scenarios that can't happen anymore because they've already occurred when this airs. But we will let you know what the state quarterfinal matchup is and the location as well. Just a lot of uncertainty in this time of year, and with how early we are from the regional championship win. But we'll send it to the locker room in Rocky Mount to end this week's episode. But signing off for now, Jacob Smith, Kaden, Reinhard, thank you for watching Citizen Sports Talk.
All right, so everybody except the trophy and Gavin's in the shot, I think. Yeah. Now you're in it, barely. There you go, blocking Nico. But Coach, starting with you, back-to-back region champs. What does that say, being able to beat the same team 2 years in a row?
Man, right here, these guys what did it. We've done that 4 times in school history, and we just went back to back. That doesn't happen in this league. The big-time teams before have done that, and Radford and Martinsville and some of those guys. But these guys got it done and stepped up down the stretch. I think the 8-0, 6-0 run down the stretch has sealed it on defense, and we just got it done.
Looking ahead to next week, state quarterfinals. It's going to be technically a home game. How beneficial is that not to have to worry about traveling to your opponent or have a very long trek on Tuesday?
See, I heard it wasn't a school issue. I heard it's because we have too many fans coming and we can't see it, so we got to go to a bigger venue. Those people out there were unbelievable. The student section was unbelievable. But being able to stay at home area, maybe back down here, maybe RU, and we're going to get the loser. Now, both those teams are good. Both those teams are good. So whoever comes out of there, we'll prepare for and see if we can get one step closer to getting there.
Talking with you, Isaiah, now. We talked with you Wednesday. Free throws were big down the stretch. You went 8 for 8 from the charity stripe. How important was that to get this win over Nelson with your ability from the line?
Well, I mean, you contribute any way you can. Every night it could be different, and tonight for me was free throws. I mean, every night it could be different. Everybody has their own job, and you just try to do it to the best of your ability.
Now, last questions for everybody. How's it feel to be region champs?
Just like other groups, man, you're different than other groups. You dug in. The score was tied, and I didn't know if we had it. I just didn't know if we had it. And I know you ain't feeling well. I know it. But you went out there and did all you could and battled like a big dog. And everybody got on the court tonight. I'm proud of you. We got 3 games to go. 3 games to go. We're 1 quarter at a time. Okay, still 1 quarter at a time. Enjoy this. I know it's going to be tough. I'll figure out who we're playing. Monday will be after school, so it'll be Grammar Central. They will be playing tomorrow. Man, I just love you. I love you. I'm proud of you. You guys mean a lot to me. It's tight, man. Hey, be careful going home. Right here, guys.
Let's go. Let's go, baby. Hey, family on 3. 1,